Welcome to Jazz Piano Daily 150. Today I'm going to show you how to do improvisation call and response. All right, let's shift over to the sheet music. So first of all, we're going to be utilizing our Angel Eyes progression that we've been using, right? And then also see Jazz Piano Daily 148 for a little bit more of a deep dive on scale blocks. So basically a scale block is just taking a section of the scale, right, and just blocking it and using just those notes for your improvisation. So here's the first 5 notes of your blues scale. That's what I'm calling block A. And here's block B. This is 5 notes of the blues scale starting on the 5th. So I could play those 5 or those 5. Now the numbers underneath here, I just numbered the notes of the block. So that's literally note 1, note 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then here, this is note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So let me just make this a little bit simpler for you. Let's say I was doing the C major scale, and I had my block. That was a 5-finger block here. Doesn't have to be 5 notes, but I'm doing 5 notes for this example. Then I'm just numbering this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if I'm doing it with my left hand, still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Has nothing to do with your finger numbers, all right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then if I started on G, this again would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just numbering the notes of the scale block, right? So I have block A and I have block B. I'm numbering the notes starting on the first note, going up to the 5th note. Now the reason that I do that is because then I could create patterns. So let's say I do 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, right? Then I can come up to this block and do 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So now check this out if I'm just doing like a basic bass line down here. So you see how I'm having a call down here and then a response up here. And all I did for the response was I copied the exact pattern from the call into the response. So the call, in our particular case here, in this example, is using the A block. The response is using the B block. You could flip this around, all right? So the call could be using the B block, the response could be with the A block, and also you don't have to mimic the exact same pattern number-wise. You could do a different pattern. So it could be... Right, so you see that the pattern is a little bit different. However, to get started, it sounds really neat to play exactly the same pattern just on a different block. So to make it simple, let's say that my pattern was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pretty simple, right? So when I go to this block, what is it going to be? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So maybe I might go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And a lot of times, we might want to play that first pattern a few times before responding. In our example here, we're just going to do a call and a response right away. So for instance, if we were improvising, we might want to do something like this. Right, so you see, I don't have to do a call and then a response right away. I can kind of delay it a little bit if I want to. Now, this call and response, you can look up the whole history of this, but you find this a lot in jazz improvisation. A lot of this also comes from work songs, so you could do the whole deep dive into the history of all of that, but all of that call and response from work songs came to jazz improvisation. You will also sometimes, if you listen, when one soloist is ending, right, they might play a phrase, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba, and then the next soloist might pick up on that phrase, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba, and then do their own thing from there. So that's kind of neat to kind of clue into that and hear that as well. All right, so let's take a look at this example that I did here. All right, so this again is right off of the Angel Eyes. So here we go. Oops, sorry. Ah! All right, so you can hear the call, the response, the call, the response. Now, this is, of course, all written out. You can, as you get better at this, you can just, just free form and do it. So, for instance, if you're just freely improvising this, it might sound like something like this. So you see how I can bring that in later, and I decided to bring that in more down here. Again, the example, slowly. Now, what I did was I wrote out the pattern for you in this first line. You can do the same thing down here if you want, but basically it was the 1, 5, 3, 4, 3, 2, and then 1, 5, 3, 4, 3, 2. Now, it just happens to work out that it's also the fingering, right, in the right hand. So 1, 5, 3, 4, 3, 2. Okay? But anyway, playing around with the call and response, you can get some really, really neat sounds. So anyway, I suggest just try playing around with it. Do these examples first, but then freely just do your own thing. Just know that that structure of utilizing those blocks is a great way to create some structure and continuity in your improvisation. To get the first 45 pages of music for free, just go back to jazzpianodaily.com. If you liked the video, please be sure to click the like button and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. To watch the rest of the lessons in this series, just click on the playlist to the right of this arrow. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.